Lab activity number 4, writing a program using an on-delay S5 timer. Let's go to network number 1. I will click to highlight my network number 1, and I'll go to my catalog and choose timers. And this is the on-delay SODT. With my network highlighted, I can simply double click. It will appear. I will insert a normally open input on the S input. I will insert a normally open contact on the R input, and I will insert an output coil on the output Q. I will now insert a second network. I will place a normally open contact followed by an output coil. Question marks. This is input number 1. This is input number 2. This will be timer T1. This will be this will be memory bit 0. My format for my time is S5T pound, and I want my timer to count down for 5 seconds. This has to be memory word 0, and this has to be memory word 2. On my network number 2, this will be the memory bit, and this is my output number 1. Okay, I've got my program written. I will now download to the PLC. I want to overwrite OB1. I will turn monitor on. Notice my power rails. I will now push my red button, which is input 1. Notice the output is not activated until the timer times out. Now notice input 1, the S input, is high. That's because I'm pushing the red button. If I release the red button, or the input number 1, the output turns off. If I push the red button again, the timer starts counting down for 5 seconds. If I release the input number 1, notice the timer stops. If I push the red button again, the timer starts counting at 5 seconds. Now if I push and start the timer and at the same time reset by pushing input 2, notice that the timer's time goes to 0 seconds. So I start the timer and I can reset it or set it to 0 seconds, so it's timed out. Also notice that when I activate input 1, the timer starts counting. The output is not high until the timer times out, as long as input 1 remains high. Now the output will remain high as long as input 1 is high, but as soon as I release input 1, the output turns off.